Welcome back to another episode of Excuse My Grandma. It's Kim and my co-host,
Grandma Gail.
Okay, guys, we are joined by Noah Neiman. He is a health and wellness expert, founder of Rumble Boxing. Noah, thanks for joining us.
Of course. Thank y'all for having me. Appreciate you.
Okay, so we start by asking all of our guests their age, current relationship status, and where they're from or currently living.
Wait, can you guess how old you think I am? I'm just curious.
I would say he's 32, 31, 32. And
I should know this because I did the research, but I actually don't have the info. So I'm going to guess 37.
Well, you have a lot of muscles, that's for sure. For our audience, he's very handsome and he's very muscular.
Thank you.
All right, so give us the age.
38.
Oh,
You
you
were
were
so
closer.
good.
You are
You're
good.
good.
So
You are
good.
good.
Yeah, my brother actually just got married, and part of my best man speech is I show my brother off to everybody. He's like, I love him to death, and I show him off, but every time people are like, "Yo, so who's the younger brother?" And he's like, much younger than me.
Yeah.
He like just turned 30, so when he hears that, he's
Oh.
like. So obviously during the best man speech, I had to make fun of him for that.
So people usually think that you're the younger brother.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean that's.
Or
Listen,
maybe he's more
this
immature. He might be more immature.
That's true. I think it was mainly an aesthetic thing. I mean, listen, the health and wellness thing works.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I know people that are my age that, are look like they're a lot older. So your body
Yeah,
is
that's
a
interesting.
product of what you do to it,
Yeah.
internally and externally.
Grandma, do you feel like your friends who work out look younger?
Well, they probably feel better. I don't know
But
if they
looks wise.
look wise. After a certain age, everybody looks old. but I think basically they feel better. They feel better about themselves, and that's more important. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be the extensive workout that Noah does
Mhm.
for an older person, but just
Oh.
to get moving. I mean, moving is very important for everybody.
Mhm.
Yeah, I fully agree. And actually, that's the ethos of our gym in general. Like our point of differentiation, obviously, besides just the execution of it, the aesthetics of it, like our community, is we always came out. A lot of other gyms are like, you'll burn this many calories. You're gonna look like, Jessica Alba. You're gonna look like a rock star. And like we were just like, that's cool, I guess. But like we just want to feel good. We just want to have a good time. Want to move our bodies because that's how we show the world that we're grateful that we can even move our bodies anymore.
Exactly.
And that was really like the core philosophy of Rumble starting out. It was never about an aesthetic or a look. And that ties back to like when I started training when I was younger. I started training at 12 years old. And, I just told you I was 38. So 12 years old, football and lifting. And I was out of shape as a kid, like earlier, like younger years. And I always felt like my body was a prison. I had a lot of behavioral problems, ADHD. I had oppositional defiant disorder, diagnosed with that. And the thing that really helped me was training, was structure of football, was the strength training that coupled it. And then ultimately, which was really my saving grace, like multiple times, was jujitsu, martial arts, and then boxing. And then so I built a whole, international brand around that.
Right.
Terrific.
So how did you first get involved with Rumble? That was back in 2017 that it was founded?
Yeah. Sorry, Grandma, I got a lot of tattoos.
That-
Well-
Is that what you're
everybody-
staring at?
Everybody has tattoos. No, I'm
Thank
not. I
you.
wasn't really
Thank
saying. I
you.
was spacing out and listening to him.
My grandma unfortunately passed away, but I feel like she's up there like,
She's watching you.
oh, I know.
She's
Actually,
very
the
proud,
first,
and she's very proud.
I hope so. Honestly, I'll give you another story, but that's why I work so hard.
Right.
It's a full circle moment about making my family proud. But Rumble started, the whole point was at 1917, January 9, 2017. We started in Chelsea. I'm the founder, co-founder. So my good friend, and we have like a wild history together. I went to Hofstra, and Eugene Rem is my business partner in this. He owns Catch. I'm sure you've been to Catch
Right.
restaurants.
Yeah.
Just
Oh my
a
gosh,
really-
that's Grandma's favorite pancakes in the world.
It's
Or
the
French
best.
toast brunch.
I'm gonna
French
take you to
toast.
Catch
It's
brunch.
French toast.
I'm going to take you to
That's
Catch
the best
brunch.
It is the best. You got it.
Yeah, me and you, though. Just me and you. I don't
I'm
know.
not invited.
No,
Oh,
you-
take Kimmy. Take Kimmy too.
Kimmy can come. Well, if you like me during this interview, I'll take both of you.
Okay.
So, so Eugene and I actually, when I was in college, I went to Hofstra. He's a little older than me, but he had this house that he bought with some of his friends so that he could rent it out to people
Mhm.
for off-campus housing. And it was a sorority house, and I didn't have a lot of money in college. So I used to live with my then girlfriend at the time and like sneak into the sorority house and live there. I had all my stuff in like little bags. And when Eugene and like Devin and like Danny, like his partners came to come collect rent, I would have to like sneak out the window and I have to run away. So our running joke is that me working with him in Rumble, like literally 15 years later, is such a full circle moment because I owe him probably like
I was just going to say, you
$10,000
owe
of
the
rent.
back rent.
Yeah, I was like, all right, we're not going to collect back rent. See, we're not going to do that, but I'll work with you. So our partnership was great. I mean, he's probably the best restaurateur and just moment creator, whether it's his restaurants, whether it's the nightlife aspect, whether it's, you know, the pancakes that you love, the attention to detail. And I've learned so much from him about entrepreneurship and about just servicing a customer. Right. You're going to see all those elements in Rumble. So we opened our first location in 2017 and, you know, we have some really strong partners, you know, Jason Derulo, one of my really close friends, you know, so when you have Jason on video talking about it, it helps promote the business. So with that being said, we opened up pretty relatively quickly, 14 locations, pandemic included over the past couple of years. And we just sold to this company called Exponential. We sold our IP. So I still own the corporate, we still own the corporate. And then we sold the IP, the intellectual property, which is essentially, just for your viewers, I know you know, y'all smart, but it's what makes Rumble Rumble, the sauce, the essence, the execution, the structure, you know, the logo also that I've tatted, that little logo. So a company bought that and they sold over 300 franchises franchises already.
Oh, wow.
So Australia's open and Alaska and Arizona and Florida's coming and Japan is coming. So terrific. To see this little, you know, baby grow and be able to impact so many communities across the world is just insane. It's just like such a.
And no, is it mostly, is it demographic? Is it women, men?
Yeah. Mainly women. No, so mainly women actually. So it's a group fitness facility. So we train boxing and strength training all in like one breath. So one 45-minute class. You're going to get boxing. You're going to get the combos. You're going to get punching. You're going to get beautiful projections which show you what you're doing, so you're not confused, and I'll walk you through everything in case there's a lot going on. We got the lights and the music and the artwork and
just all the scene.
The atmosphere is super conducive to softening boxing while still being super respectful. Because, you know, I have a fight coming up in 2 months. So like I was at a
real fight, a legitimate fight,
a real fight,
a boxing fight.
Yeah, well, I understand that. I understand.
No, not like a street fight. Like I'll meet you in 2 months in the parking lot. No, it's actually for charity, for haymakers. So if you guys want to support, it's for cancer research. So my father was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer and survived because he's a badass and he's tough. And the person I'm fighting, who's actually from a rival gym, his father unfortunately passed away from cancer. So we're gonna punch each other in the face for a good cause. So it's a sanctioned fight though. So
yeah, I have a question about that actually. Like, would you enjoy boxing if you're not an aggressive person?
Yeah. I mean, look, you're ready. Grandma Gail is ready. She's throwing the
Don't do it. Don't punch that one.
I like that. Yeah, the thing about movement, as Grandma Gail said, it's empowering to just move your body. So at every level, I don't care if, you know, you're a 6-year-old or you're 80 years old, balling up your fists and training one of your oldest primordial kind of instincts, which is fight or flight. Like we have those ingrained no matter what. That's just biology. It just is what it is. Yeah. So to be able to train, it's empowering for everybody, but our demographic is in group fitness in general, it's about 70% women. Oh, so, you know, if we have a 60-person class, best believe that like 45, 50 like are going to be women. We skew a little higher, like 74, 75. But yeah, it's what we really wanted to do was make it for everybody. Right. Guy, girl, whatever you identify, trans, gay, straight, black, white, like anything in between. Our brand has always been about just being there for everyone. Mm-hmm. And we have a really strong brand identity. But maybe you're a pro boxer like my boy Hollywood Hino, who's a professional fighter who came to, you know, come to Rumble, and he's boxing next to somebody who came in from New Jersey and it was their first time. They saw it on like Justin Bieber's Instagram or something. And they're like, oh, I want to go try this. And they're right next to them, right next to Hino, a pro boxer, former pro boxer. And they're having just as much fun. They're getting just as good of a workout and they're going at their own pace. Whatever you can do is enough. That's what we say.
Yeah. Why do you think so many celebrities are attracted to boxing in general? And also I know, like, as you said, Bieber and Kendall Jenner and all these people who have been to Rumble.
Yeah, well, like I said, our investor base is really cool. So
Mhm.
shout out to Scooter Braun, who manages Beaver.
So
So Sylvester Stallone, who is one of our investors. So we had a really big target on our back because we had a lot of powerful, really influential people that were involved in our brand early on. So
great.
we looked at that as not like, oh, we're too big to fail. We have Bieber talking about us. It was like, no, if they're going to put our name in their mouths, then we have to over execute. We have to bust our booties to make sure that the experience for the customer is on par with what they expect, with not even just meet their expectations, but exceed it. It's very grateful. It's not what you do, it's how you do it and who you do it with, more importantly. Which is why the podcast is so successful. Like individually, you guys wouldn't be as strong, but together, you guys,
Individually, we're losers.
We're losers.
Together.
Same with me.
Together we're strong.
No, I'm the same. I ain't shit without my homies, as Tupac said. Sorry.
You obviously are on the business side of things, but you also teach classes. What's your experience kind of as an instructor? And also, I know a lot of the times with these group workout classes, there's like not groupies, but it can get like a cult following depending on the instructor.
A few of those.
Yeah. So like, what is
Got a
your
little
experience
instructor
with that?
crush?
Yeah. Like people actually do most of your.
I'm saying to you.
Oh, do I? No, all of the guys I go to are gay. So
Exactly.
so
You still have a
no.
crush on them. They just probably won't crush on you
I don't
back.
think
Yeah. So
It'd be a one-way street
I think
crush.
they have a crush on me.
yeah, they love you. They
Oh,
love you.
love the
So
grandma.
no.
Gays and
but-
the grandmas go hand in hand.
I watch.
Yeah, no, she comes and she just watches.
I just watch
Hey.
it. I want to make sure she's
never mind.
doing it right.
I thought we were going to a dark place with Grandma Gail.
No.
I'm not ready for all
Workout
that.
classes.
We're good.
Workout.
I got you. Yeah, listen, teaching, especially in the big cities, New York City, LA, it's really interesting because you have such a unique collection of personalities that you have to instantly try to connect with. So I think honestly, the most rewarding and enriching and the thing that probably drove me to develop myself and my personality to where I'm at right now is seeing all these different people and having to find at least that quick moment of just like, all right, we're in this together. Let me give you some eye contact. Let me kind of feel like what your energy is about. So, that really helped me in how I treat everybody and how I engage with everyone. So yeah, it's definitely unique when, you could be training, the high-powered hedge fund man or woman, and then right next to that is the new student that's up and coming. Right next to that is the pro boxer. So it's like, a true melting pot, and you become so in tune with how unique people are
Mhm.
and how unique people's personalities are that sometimes when you're walking down the street, you're just kind of tuned out. But you can't do that when you're teaching. It really grounds you. So there's like a few things that really have helped me. And actually, when I started teaching, I was going through a really like bad, depressive, kind of destructive phase leading into that. And like teaching people and getting outside of myself and having to give instead of just focusing on like what's coming in really changed my whole life, to be honest, and my whole perspective on just human interaction.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit more about like your journey? Because I know you weren't always in fitness, and I feel like it's really inspiring for people who kind of want to shift in any way in their life, who's kind of going through something.
So I was an accountant. I got my degree from Hofstra, got a great job at an accounting firm, and was doing like the thing that like I thought I should be doing. Like
Right.
that's the thing. You got to get a job
Traditional.
out of
You were
college.
traditional.
Yeah, my dad's a lawyer. My mom's a successful real estate agent. My dad went to Harvard. I mean, how dare he go to Harvard? What an asshole.
Her husband went, so
Yeah.
you
Oh,
got it.
God bless.
It's
I went to
good.
Hofstra, which we call the Harvard
All
of
right, I went to Syracuse, so yeah, we're
All right,
on the
hot
same
seat, New
boat.
York. Let's go.
We're all New Yorkers, and she
So,
went to Cornell, so we're all in New York State.
oh, yeah, but
But she's the Ivy. She's an Ivy girl.
I'll just
Yeah, you have an Ivy air about you.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I was in accounting, and actually, to be honest, I mean, I was miserable. Let me start there. I would like go to the bathroom and I would call my mom, like any good Jewish boy does, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Mom, this can't be it, because I've always had this kind of energy, this kind of boundless energy,
It
and I
was
was
the
like,
wrong field for you.
yeah, it just wasn't right. But it's what I thought like societally I had to do. Like I had to be a businessman. Like that's how I would be respected. And so what happened is after I left that, I actually got into nightlife in New York City, where I would throw parties. So a bunch of my friends would come. I'd hire a bunch of promoters. I'd hire DJs. I was like hiring Steve Aoki before he was Aoki. And this was like in the heyday of New York City nightlife. So
I know who that is. You shook your head like yes.
Like Snoop Dogg. Like I was hiring like Snoop Dogg. All right, so Snoop Dogg to come and like play these parties. And I met a lot of relationships and connections that ultimately I had no clue were gonna pay off. Like I never go into a relationship for something to pay off, but full circle, like these people that I met in New York City nightlife, like Eugene, like we reconnected, and a bunch of our investors, and I got my reputation in there as somebody who really knew how to take care of people. So full circle, like 10 years later, opening up Rumble, I learned so much in the hospitality industry of New York City. This is all about, listen, how can I make you feel better? How can I engage you and make you feel something good by dealing with me and my brand? So yeah, but in between that, like after New York City, I moved back to Pittsburgh because I had to deal with some family health issues. And that's when I got really destructive. Like I came in with a bad crowd. I was always kind of like on the tougher side of the tracks when I was growing up. My parents, we grew up, middle class, but I was always the kid that was out with the kids stealing cars, and I was always the one getting in trouble. It is what it is. And so I went back to Pittsburgh after New York for a little bit, and I got super destructive, back into drugs and just going out all the time and just not being, my family, like I had people in my family that were sick, like dying. And I was just like, it was just too much. So I had like a whole breakdown where I had all these panic attacks. And I remember I woke up in the hospital one day and I felt like really, like I woke up and I was like, what just happened? And I look around, it's like my whole family is watching me. So this is the full circle moment, talking about doing things to make my grandmother, she was passed away at the time, but making my family proud was like, I saw the look in their faces, their concerned looks. And I was like, that moment, I was like, I can't do this to them anymore. So I stopped. I gave up everything cold turkey, which is like, I mean, I don't know if any
very hard
with addiction or like anything like that, but like I had like shivers and panic attacks and like my body would go numb, and it was like a whole process trying to like wean off of that. But what happened is my parents kicked me out of Pittsburgh. They were like, you're
out.
Yeah. They were like, we love you, but you can't stay here anymore. You're super destructive. You're in with these bad kids. Like you got to go back to New York. Like your energy was made for this city. Like you're destined for things. And they believed in me before I even believed in myself. So they kicked me out, and I was talking to one of my friends, this guy, Micah Jesse, who was like a celebrity blogger. And there was this place that had just opened. It was like 2010 or 2011. And it was Kim Kardashian's favorite workout called Barry's Boot Camp. And he was like, I have some passes. I got to do a little blog write up on it. It just opened. Come with me. I know you're the fitness guy. Fitness has always been in my background, in my DNA. I've always trained throughout my whole life. It's always been my sanctuary, like kind of my anchor. He's like, come help me. And so I went, and I almost didn't go, but I ended up taking a class with the owner, this guy, Joey Gonzalez, and we struck up a conversation after. He was like, dude, I don't know what you do, but like, you got a little energy about you. You got a little look. Like, do you want to do this? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I do. So I went through all the courses. I went through everything. And like, they gave me one class Monday night at 9 p.m. And I was like, what am I supposed to do? Who's going to want to work out at 9 p.m.? But I branded it. Like, this was when like Edward Cullen and like Twilight was really, every girl was like salivating over that. So I branded it Vampire Fitness Hour. And it was like for the crazies, for the people that had a long ass day in New York City and they wanted to end it with some like hard, aggressive, like boot camp style training. And so that one class ended up turning into like 15, 25 classes a week, selling them all out, getting write-ups in like Times and GQ and Vanity Fair and Harper's Bazaar and Elle and Esquire. And like, they're writing about this like trainer, this new trainer on the scene that's like making a big splash. So like, it was one of those things that my whole life and where my career is at was a series of like fortunate events, like rooted in misfortune, if that makes sense. Because like your failures, like probably more so than your successes, become the path. Like what people don't understand is if you just keep going, like you keep taking these losses and you keep messing up and you keep finding, you go to the accountant world and that's not right for you. So you do this and it's not right for you, but you're making these like moments and you're learning things along the way and you're making these relationships that hopefully you're keeping and you're investing in. Cause it's not transactional. It's, chase relationships, not checks kind of mentality. So all of your missteps are actually giving you the path to your ultimate passion and happiness. And that's what I think is a big kind of misstep from people in my community, is like, no days off, like no failure, like you better, like if you're failing, it's your fault. And it's like, no, like there's societal things, there's socioeconomic, there's, there's
Lots of reasons in this
a
world
lot
to
of
fail
reasons,
now.
and that's not an excuse, because I know
Right.
people that overcome crazy things to be super successful and happy.
Right.
More important than that. But I think that like taking steps back and taking breaths and assessing situations,
Pivoting.
and what's more important for a boxer than being able to pivot out of the way? So like, not getting, you're going to get hit with the punches, but as many as you can avoid, as many as, you can learn from your mistakes and just keep punching forward and keep pressing forward, you're going to be in a good position, even though at the moment it doesn't feel like that. And that's like, if that's not the story of my life, I don't know what is. Like I almost died. Like I literally almost died in like the most unhealthy anti-fitness way. And now I've busted my ass to be like a pillar in the fitness and lifestyle, and hopefully, a strong motivating factor for new young entrepreneurs that maybe are, going through what I went through when I was a kid.
Totally.
Very
Thank
good.
you for sharing. It's like so inspiring.
Well, right. And I was curious, do you do any work with teenagers in the inner cities in New York at all? Because I would think that this kind of regimen and this kind of exercise would be so helpful to, boys who tend to want to go into a gang or want to whatever on the streets of New York, any city. This would be a terrific regimen, an outlet.
Well, I mean, listen, you're going to...
do they ever approach
we do a
you?
lot of charity. Yeah. We do a lot of charity work. So we generally...
I don't only mean charity. I mean, your concept put into a high school setting, taught by an instructor. Yeah, I mean, because they don't really have boxing in high schools. I don't think they have that.
Yeah, and the funny thing is people think it's going to make you super violent and like aggressive, and it's not. Like I used to get into more fights when I didn't know how to fight than I ever would now. Like I would never like think of fighting. Like even if you like disrespect me, I'm like not gonna like stand up, even though I could knock you out. Like there's something like super calming about it. So we do a lot of, you're 100% right. There's a lot of boxing programs for
that's what I meant. That would be great.
There's also on the other end of that, boxing is one of the greatest things for Alzheimer's patients. So, so one of our trainers, Jess, actually does a lot of work boxing with Alzheimer's patients. So when you say, is boxing good for everyone? It is good for everyone.
Also, I'm curious your thoughts on like how New York City workout culture and also just workout classes, I guess, across the US have kind of changed after COVID, because
during COVID.
Well, I think during is like kind of clear, like people weren't going in, like they had to watch Zoom, virtual, whatever. But now, like, is it back up to the numbers you saw of people going in pre-pandemic?
I'll speak to myself and I'll speak to the industry. Yes, our numbers we shot pretty much right back up. As regulations started to lift, our customer was engaged through us throughout the pandemic because we did a ton of Zooms and IG Lives. And I'm so proud of the crew because we launched a whole new business in the middle of a pandemic with Rumble Television. So we hired a production team.
Terrific.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we hired a whole production team. We got a rental space on Mott Street, and we filmed these live workouts 6, 7, sometimes 8 times a day for our customer. So when the pandemic was over, when the regulations were lifted and we could open up again to full capacity, our customer came back because they didn't really go anywhere.
Right.
But with that being said, a lot of small businesses, a lot of gyms, a lot of restaurants, a lot of mom and pop stores, especially in New York City, like I live in, are gone. You don't, there's no business plan that says you're going to be making X amount of revenue. You're making a lot of business decisions based on this. And then the next day the rug gets
shut down
you and you have zero revenue.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that we're even still breathing is, a blessing. And it's a testament to our community coming back. Now, I'm always happy with where I'm at, but I'm always hungry. So I'm excited to grow these numbers even more now that, again, people are coming back to like a normal routine. We just started seeing normalcy literally in New York City. And I told you, I'm like big on picking up on energy and people. We just started seeing like the real New York City probably in the past month or two. It's been,
I noticed the same thing.
yeah, so,
It didn't feel like people were around, but it just started feeling like that level of like fun energy, fall, New York City, like excitement.
I think like you're going to see New York City being super elastic and bouncing back, especially
I
after
agree.
this kind of recession and pandemic. People are, going to come back and reinvest in communities and reinvest in peer-to-peer businesses where, you build something. Hey, puppies, relax. I'm trying to give a heartfelt speech. They don't care. They won't play with the ball. So yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like Sylvester Stallone, to quote, Rocky. It's not how hard you can hit, it's how hard you can get hit and keep on going. And so this is just all par for the course. And I hope, and I'm doing my best as, a business owner in different communities to make sure that we end up coming back stronger from this than ever before.
Great.
Okay, can I ask about your tattoos?
But nobody
Okay.
can see them, Kim.
No, I'll cut it for social media like we do with every interview. Okay. Multiple questions. One, when your grandma was alive, how many of them did she see?
Zero. Absolutely zero. Absolutely zero. But she was the anchor in my very first tattoo. So I remember I got this one in college. So it says bleed for those who bleed for you. And it's all the initials of my family. But BG, Beatrice Goodman is her name. Hey, Tyson, relax, buddy. So he's like the choir, the congregation is like giving me some props. So Beatrice Goodman, she was like the anchor in the bleed for those, like BG is right there. And all the initials of my family, my mom, my brother, my sister, my nieces and nephews, my brother-in-law. And so like I came home to show her and like she went to like be mad, but it was like a big I Heart Mom tattoo. So she was like,
right.
All right.
You're an asshole, but like it's kind of cute. And now guess what? Full circle moment. My grandma's name was Beatrice. So B, we called her B, Grandma B. And my mom's, obsessed with bee things, little bee memorabilia and little trinkets and, pillowcases and everything. So my mom, 75 years old, just got a tattoo of a bee on her arm. And I was like, I gave her the same look. I'm like, really disappointed, but I like it.
Wow, she came around. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So grandmama, no tattoos. Yeah. She unfortunately passed away when I was in high school. I got my first tattoo in college. Right. My mom just got that tattoo, but I think
let's see if your dad gets one. That'll be.
I think he would. My dad's a G. I think he would. My mom pressured him. They've been married. They grew up on Pecusset Street in Pittsburgh next to each other when they were kids.
They were childhood.
Yeah. I mean, they've known each other since they were 3 years old. They got married at 18. This is actually, so I have this tattoo. Shout out to Keith at Bang Bang. That's their engagement photo when they were 18 years old. Right?
Yeah. Wow.
So, so it's hard to get mad at the tattoos.
The thing is, if you get engaged, do you have any room on the other arm?
That's why I have so many muscles. So I have room to put more tattoos. I can't be skinny because I have space for more initials.
All right, okay. Then not fill up anymore. Don't put any more.
My brother just got married, so I gotta get her initials on the arm. But
Okay, and then what about the Hebrew letters?
That says koach, which means like physical strength, and then Oz, which is my first dog, which means more of like an internal strength, kind of like a spirit, like an internal courage. So those are my arms after one of my dogs right here.
Okay, now let's chat a little bit about dating.
To his dating,
because this is a dating podcast.
Are you sure? Everybody
don't kill my grandma.
This moment right here. Then they're like, "Oh, he's just a fuckboy." Like I'm not. I'm really not. Like, so my parents, like I said, they've been dating since they were kids. My sister's been married, since she was in her 20s. My brother just got married. He dated the same girl for 10 years. My niece has had a long-term boyfriend for forever. My nephew's had a long-term boyfriend forever.
You don't want to hear that.
Why does it matter?
But guess what? No, just wait. And then there's fucking me, which is like I didn't even bring a date to my brother's wedding.
No plus one.
I didn't bring a plus one because
it's
hard out here, and I didn't like. That's a big moment. It was in Pittsburgh, which is a long trip, and like, I mean, I'm
not that long. Not that long. You don't need to
6.5 hour road trip or a 4 hour drive or like a 2 hour plane ride, and you got to really be connected to somebody to like for them to meet my family. Like my family's crazy. Like I got to really like. I mean, there are obviously people I could have brought, but like I don't know. I feel like I went.
want to. Let's just be
Yeah, that's the
truthful.
bottom
Grandma
line.
knows. Grandma knows what I didn't. I
It's
didn't
pretty
want to.
easy to read through. Like you purposely did not bring someone because they didn't matter enough in
Did
your
you
life.
bring the dogs?
Oh, come on.
Did he
now.
bring the
It's not-
dogs?
It's really not that. It was really for them. Like I just like I'm in a really wild place in my life in terms, and this is gonna sound like an excuse, and it's really, it's not. Like when I'm in on something, I'm all fucking in. Like whether it's fitness, boxing, lifting, football, dogs. I got 3 of them. I don't just get one. Building businesses. I'm
only
about
need
to have
one, right?
400. I'm in. Like I'm in it. And right now, like I'm all over the place. I'm traveling all the time. I have like these podcasts and shows and like publicity and marketing and press tours. So like I know that I couldn't give a woman the energy and attention and affection.
Oh my God, he is like so prime in our podcast. I would say there's always room for a relationship.
Wait, can
I
I?
get it, but
president of the United States.
I know you're right in a traditional structure, but the way that my life is set up right now, it makes it really hard. Like I haven't been in New York for more than 7 days in 3 months. So
wouldn't it be nice to come home to somebody?
It would be delightful. It really would. It's not that I'm not anti-relationship. No. Did you talk to my mom before this podcast?
I'm going to call her up as soon as this is over.
I'm going to give you her number because she says the same thing. I'm like, Mom, like she hit me up after my brother's wedding. She's like, so like, when are you up? Like, and I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, your other son just got married. Like, at least give me like a week or 2. And she's like, no, I want grandkids. And I was like, no, you do. Just give me a second. But no, yes, I would love that. But I want to do it, and I want to have like the foundation to start it off right. I've had like, a few long-term, I'm talking like 3 to 5 year long girlfriends, so I can do it.
Well, we know you can do it. We're not worried
It's not
about your
about that.
ability to do it.
Like, also, we're not coming after you.
They are tough.
in
But I think
general.
you guys are making it much tougher than it really is. This goes back to my conversation with Kimberly all the time.
Yeah, because this
What?
really
No,
isn't.
tell me
We're not
what.
coming after you. This happens. Like we hear this so much.
We do.
No, tell me.
We do hear it a lot.
Yeah.
Because
Treat
I
me
think
like I'm one of your own. Yeah, I mean, you can give me
it's all
your-
right. Everyone thinks I'm their grandma.
That's it. I told you, unfortunately, mine passed away, so you can be my surrogate.
You're too good not to partner off with somebody good, also good. So we want the best for you. And the best thing is to have a relationship with somebody you're comfortable with and that can
If that's
share.
what you want. Like,
You want to be miserable?
No. I mean, a lot of people like don't even want a relationship. But if
all right.
No, I know a lot of people came up to me at the wedding, like older, and I won't say any names.
Right.
And they were like, we started talking about the same thing. And the husband in the background would be like,
Don't do it.
oh, good. And these are like, people who've been married for 30, 40 years. And I'm
Well,
like,
that's why they're saying don't do it.
I know,
They're
but I'm like,
tired.
damn. So I'm like, I do want to, but then there's like these universal moments where like people are
All
like,
right.
they're like, yo, you get to like travel and have fun and like, you have to, you get to like, I'm not like devoid of like affection by any means, because I get so much of it being in the public and running around New York City and LA and like meeting all, the people that go to Rumble and just, I'm so like enriched with human interaction that's probably been my biggest impediment to settling down. Because one good thing about settling down is like you find a partner that like can go through all these things with you and like when you're feeling down can pick you up. But I have like 10,000 people that like fortunately like do that.
Well, you're lucky.
for me.
Okay.
I'm
good.
super fortunate. No, I am. And
You
like
are.
I would not be where I'm at without the community, without our customers, our clients, definitely without my family, obviously. So like I've had this support system, which again has been great, but it's also been the reason why I haven't, out of necessity, had to have been like, all right, damn, I need to like stop what I'm doing, like stop the presses for a little bit and lock down, because I never felt like I was missing out. Like I never felt like I was starving for that affection or love or attention or comfort when I needed it, because I always had it.
Yeah, it's what you're choosing to prioritize also. Like if you don't feel like that's super important for you right now, that the other things like work or your dog seem more important, then you're going to prioritize those things over having like a serious relationship. Like correct me if I'm wrong, but like I feel like that's kind of what it comes down to.
100%. You make time for the things you want to make time for.
Yeah.
But it's not that I don't want to make time for it at all.
No.
Do you make time for dating like casually?
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, I'm a man. I'm a human.
Yeah.
So, but I'm like, I'm never like shady about anything. I'm very like, I'll have the same conversation with anybody like on a first date. I'll be like, listen,
Totally.
life's crazy right now. Like when I'm with you, but like I can't invest and like, yeah, I can't commit right now. Like I'm always like super transparent, which I think guys,
Which is fair.
No, I think it's important because a lot of
Yeah.
people, and I wasn't always like this. I learned the hard way when I was younger that like, it actually had tied into when I started training and really thinking about other people for the first time as opposed to ourselves. Because I think naturally, like we're very like ego driven. And I think we focus on ourselves a lot that sometimes we don't realize how our actions really impact other people. So this is not, I've not always been like this, but now super transparent because again, like I don't want somebody to get involved that's like under like false preconceptions or pretenses. And I certainly don't want to be shady or like be manipulative or anything. So like if you're watching this and you hit me up in my DMs, like that's where I'm at right now. But yeah, listen, I'm a guy, so
Yeah. Right. So has that ever happened where like you're upfront with somebody and then down the line they are like, I want more from you, and you're like, I told you?
Yeah. I mean,
Do it. He said he can't do it because he's just not ready.
So
for
do you
that.
believe anyone who says, oh yeah, I also like just want to be casual, and then like you guys are just casual for a really long time?
I've had like few of those where it's been, I've been like on a 4 or 5 year like semi-consistent basis.
Right.
So yeah, I think
Grandma does not approve.
I know. I'm sorry. I felt the
No,
judgment.
that's all right. I
mean,
approve.
before the head started going like this.
Timmy understands, but I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't get
You
it.
grew up in a different era, though.
Well, that's
so,
true.
Like,
that
you
is
grew up in
true.
an era where like
You got married, you had children. That was the end.
That was the priority.
Was.
Everything was based around the family structure.
Correct.
And I love that. Listen, I grew up Sunday night dinners every Sunday. Family dinner's really important to me. Family's really important to me. I'm excited to have kids one day. I got like the baby Jordans picked out. I got the cool little like gear that I'm like already dressing them in. Like I want kids for sure. I want to settle down for sure. It's just now it's a different world we live in. Like, you have Instagram. So the moment things get tough in a relationship, instead of
that's the problem.
No, that's a big problem.
That is the
instead
problem.
Of needing to push through, you're like, why am I doing this when I could have access to 10,000 other people and not deal with this? So like it's hard. You got like Raya and you've got, the DMs and like, it's really hard when, like I said, relationships are hard in the best of circumstances. Like it's hard for my parents who like grew up.
Everybody.
Exactly. So we've, and you see these statistics like 51% of marriages don't work out now. So I'm a positive person. I'm an optimist through and through. So I see those stats and I'm like, yeah, but like,
yeah, but 50 do.
Yeah, right.
No, that's
you
what
gotta look
saying.
at the other side.
On the other side.
But you're not ready. You're definitely not ready. And you got to find, that's what
you didn't ask for her advice,
no,
but she's telling
we're always talking about that. People have to be ready to get into
get what you need, not what you want.
That's
and fully
you
agree.
have to be ready for it. Doesn't matter what the girl is or who the man is. If you're not ready, forget it.
You have to be emotionally ready.
Correct.
But also, I believe that, you have to have a certain level of emotional maturity before that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of these, 51%ers that are getting divorced, that the relationships that don't work out, a partner, from my understanding, should complement you. They should elevate you. You should elevate them. You should be there for them when they're having their terrible times and going through their moments where they're getting, emotionally beat up. But with that being said, they're not a Band-Aid. So if you have these wounds, like, or you're not at the level that you need to be at in that regard, then you're going to have a really hard time sustaining a relationship.
No one's fixing you.
Yeah,
you have to fix yourself.
And listen, I'm only 10 years removed from like suffering from panic attacks all the time and like dealing with a lot of like emotional things on my own that like, and then my development went into throwing myself into my work and my
Well,
business.
so it's great.
Yeah.
And
So
that's
I
great.
yeah, it's great. But again, I have a lot of emotional maturity that I need to do. And, you know, self-awareness isn't the end all be all. It's a start, but self-awareness without action is manipulation. I think that's like what one of my exes said. I thought that was good. I think especially coming from her, because I'd always be like, yo, I get how I am. And like, I want to work on it and I'm trying. And she's like, self-awareness without action is manipulation. And I'm like, but I'm not purposely, like, I'm not trying to be manipulative. I just like, I'm not emotionally where I'm
Not able to do it.
Exactly. To be in this strong relationship. Like I still got shit I got to work on, you know, myself.
Mhm.
So
Absolutely.
That's so interesting. I'm gonna use that, I think. So thanks to your ex.
shout out to Christina Ewing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give her full name. She's a great girl. She
Okay.
blocked me on Instagram. So
So she'll never see it anyway, unless she
you
follows
can
me.
tell her-
One more dog question. Has having a dog ever helped you get a girl?
I mean, I think it's the only reason I can get her. Have you heard me talk? Yeah, I mean, listen, I think it shows your ability to take care of something other than yourself. You know, you should probably meet the dogs. Come here, Zozo, up. Come here, up. Come here,
Did you train them yourself?
I did, but I also I got him some trainers. So when I would
Yeah.
travel, I would put him in like this beautiful 100-acre farm where they would hang out with
Right.
horses. So this is Zoe. Tyson is
Aw.
down there. Hi, Tyson, and then I'll show you my
Nice.
old boy
There's a
sleeping.
little one in the corner
He's-
there.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, well, that's Tyson right
Oh,
here.
that's Dyson. He's the smallest.
Yeah, he is something special.
Oh
He's
my
the
God,
athlete.
you have to take, how many pooper scoopers do you have to go outside with? I
Well,
used to
unfortunately, I have
have
yeah,
a walker.
I have a walker. But actually, to be honest, I like to do a lot of this stuff myself. I love.
I used to
You're like, it shows how I can take care of dogs. And then you're like, I have a dog walker and a trainer.
No, I don't know. I got a trainer just because I
Okay.
wanted them to have fun when I was traveling.
No, I'm joking.
And the dog walkers just so they get extra exercise if I'm working.
Yeah,
but I do everything. Like, you know, my dog unfortunately got an infection. I had to like pick his ass up, take him to the vet, and sit with him.
More than we
Really
need
been
to
feeding
know.
him. One, they're cute as hell. Like they're so handsome. Like my two puppies have modeled, like literally, like they
Oh,
shot for Kith. You know, shout out to Ronnie over at Kith. They shot for their Christmas card. They shot for Petco. They shot for dog DNA DNA testing. But yeah, it's an ultimate icebreaker, and it shows that you can keep something alive that's not yourself,
Yeah.
and that you can love something,
And somebody loves you unconditionally.
yeah.
That's
So,
a
yeah,
very
I-
big thing for people who love pets.
Yes, I love my guys. Of
Okay,
course.
I want to end the episode with a quick game of Grandma Gail's old-fashioned dating quiz.
We know where he is.
Oh.
There's no point.
Oh,
asking
don't write me
him.
off, Grandma Gail. I told you I'm
writing
working
you
on
off.
You're
myself.
gonna be on my
Quiz.
team.
Don't
You're
cut.
on Kimmy's team.
Don't
I can
write me
tell
off.
right away.
So the first one is, would you rather receive a call or a text from someone you're seeing if it's just to say hi?
I'll call for sure. Yeah.
Call.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, absolutely. I hate texting. Like I'm so bad at it.
I know.
I hate texting. I hate emails. Like if you're gonna talk to me, like I hate small talk. I mean, I do it a lot, but like I'd rather have deep talk, even if it's small. Like I'd rather be like, "Yo, how are you doing? Give me your day."
Right.
Like don't give me like, "Oh, I'm great, buddy. How are you?" Like that's annoying. Be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, yo, I went to like this place this morning," and then I want to hear at least the 30-second elevator pitch of like how the fuck you're doing if I asked you.
For sure.
So yeah, call for sure. I hate texting.
Sleep with someone on the first date. Would
Yeah,
you?
I would do that. For sure.
Okay. Dating apps or setups?
I don't never get setups, but I don't love dating apps either. I like the universe.
Meeting someone in the world.
Yeah, I just like in the wild, like wherever it is. You know, I'm out there, and if I can't meet somebody through that, then it wasn't meant to be. So yeah, I think just like put yourself out there as much as you can. Go to the bookstore. Go to the coffee shop. Go to the gym. Go restaurant. Go, and then put off this energy, and it'll attract people.
Would you move in together before getting engaged or wait until you're like engaged or married to live together?
Yeah, of course.
He'll take him. He'll be 80 years old by the time he gets
Grandma
married.
Gail, I thought we were friends. Why are you coming at me right now? Damn. Yeah, no, I've actually lived with two of my exes. Well, besides the college girl.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, she was great, but I needed a place to stay. Yeah, I've lived with two other girls, like long term, like 3 years. So yeah, for sure, I can Yeah, I definitely do.
Can handle that.
Yeah.
And my parents are hippies. Like they don't like in terms of like familial support. Like my parents grew up in the 70s. My dad worked for Bruce Springsteen, so I grew up on tour with this guy, like running around with them, you know, doing 70s and 80s things. So my family's very like whatever.
Loosey goosey.
Yeah. Okay, last one. Who should pay for the date? Should it be like one person in the relationship or split?
I pay for everything.
Okay.
I pay for it, but that's not a dating thing. That's actually coming from actually a fear that I had when I couldn't afford anything. And I would feel really terrible, or like I'd have to like put my food, like my groceries back because I couldn't afford the whole thing. So now, like as much as I can, I might pay for the table next to me. That's not a dating thing. Like, I'm fortunate.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, but I don't think that that's, to be honest, like it's hard out here. Like it's hard to make money. It's hard to support yourself. So I'm not going to sit here and say a man should always pay. Like what if a guy's working his butt off, but he just can't afford it? So like, I think that there has to be some kind of balance, and that's what a relationship should be.
Yeah, it's
but
personal.
as much as I can, or as much as anybody can, you should want to take care of your significant other, take care of somebody that you care about. So isn't that what dating?
Good answer.
Okay, well, you are 3
I'm gonna win
out
you
of
back,
5.
Grandma. You're coming back to this side.
Coming back to your side. Coming back to the dark side.
But you still were 3 out of 5 modern, so you are more of a modern dater. Thanks for playing.
Do I get what's the prize?
The prize is you're on Kimmy's side. That's the only prize you get.
Yeah.
Noah, thank you so much for joining us today. Tell everyone how they can find you, follow you, anything else you want to know.
And also where they can find Rumble.
Oh yeah. So Rumble is probably coming to a city near you. So you could follow us at Do You Rumble. RUMBLE, fully spelled out, Do You YOU Rumble. So follow us. It'll give you information on us as a brand. You can follow Exponential, which is talks about all of our franchisees that are opening. And then personally, me at Noah D Neiman. I run my IG not even like I just like this. Like I don't treat it as a business. So connect to me, say what's up. You can see my dogs. I give you dog videos. And that's pretty much it. But stay tuned. I have so much more coming. Rumble is like literally a blessing and a platform.
Wonderful.
So yeah, please pull up to my classes. I love teaching. I love meeting new people. I still do that like 6 times a week just to feel connected and to, again, to get the human experience from everybody. But got a lot of new projects coming soon. So I'm excited.
Congratulations.
Thank you so
Terrific
much.
Success story. Wonderful. No, very good.
Still writing it, but yeah, things like
that's
this.
all right.
Really
You're on the right road.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on here and all your viewers for listening.
Please follow us on Instagram, Excuse My Grandma, or on TikTok if you don't already. Share our podcast with your friends. Leave us a review.